Hello bushcrafters, I'm Mr. Bud from Mr. Bud's Backwoods Project channel, and this is going to be an introductory video. I've been shooting little shorts as I come up the mountainside, and I'm at as far as I can go right now because the rest of the hillside belongs to somebody else. But these series of videos are just going to be a survey on some of the wild edible and wild medicinal and useful plants in my part of the area, my part of the world, which is along the Pocahontas Trail. And as you can see, I'm a little winded. It's been an hour-and-a-half trek up here up a steep mountain. And anyway, the purpose for the video is to just do a survey. It's not so much as a guide, not so much as a how-to, but just a list of plants in my area that are useful or wild edibles. And this is actually my first bushcraft video, and I'm discovering that doing it on camera and doing it without a script, it's a little harder than just going out yourself and doing what you know to do. But some of the plants that I'll be covering will be white trillium, ramesons, or what we call in our area ramps, wild violet. You're going to see black cohosh, which is one of our exported plants. It's the wrong time of the year for ginseng, although we have a lot of ginseng in West Virginia. This is just some of our spring plants. And just kind of give an idea of you guys, I've been commenting on all your videos, just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like in my part of the world. Now, I'm actually only about 500 yards from the highway, so you guys will be hearing some highway noise. Now, my house is just right on the road, so when I'm closer to the bottom of the mountain, you'll see hear a lot of traffic going by. But just kind of give you an idea of what things are like here. I know a lot of you guys have been good to show a lot of beautiful landscape from Canada and Europe, and especially John from Arizona Bushman. I've enjoyed a lot of the scenery in your videos, and this is what it looks like here. And yes, my hand's just a little bit shaky. That happens when you start to hit midlife. This is Little Elk Mountain, and that's the neighbor's ridge right there. And when you know it, just as soon as I start to show this, the wind picks up, and so you're probably hearing a little bit of wind noise on the video. But you guys in bushcraft, you know that can't be helped sometimes. This is the road that I came up for about half of my trip. The rest of my trip, bear with me, I need to get my walking stick out here. The rest of my trip came up that. And it's been said that people from West Virginia, one leg is shorter than the other, and you fall over on level ground. Well, that's why. This is actually part of my father-in-law's land, and his rest of it, the part I'm not going on, is his neighbor's. So if I crossed anyone's border, it's just been sheer mistake. And I'll have to ask you to forgive me for that. But this is what it looks like in Swiss, West Virginia. Big old oak right there. Big old oak. A big old poplar. That's a big old poplar. Now that I look at the leaves. Anyway, guys, this is where I live. Now, I'll Father-in-law owns some of that up in there too, but since I can't get the road, I'm not going up that high. One of the plants that I'll be covering is this right here. This is bloodroot. The Algonquins called it puccoon. And it's used as an insecticide. It's not a wild food. It's an insecticide, which means it's poison. There's some other plants that we'll be getting to on another video. There's wild ginger. And you guys thought wild ginger was a girl down the block? Nope, that's wild ginger. And here we have Dutchman's breeches. Let me pan back out so you can get a good shot of those. And this is what the flower looks like. This is a very young jewelweed plant. Now, it is a wild edible, but it really takes a lot of effort to prepare, and the flavor's not that great. Once it's prepared, that's more of a survival edible. You eat it because you have to, not because it's good. But the saving grace of this little plant is it cures poison ivy and poison oak rash. It's also good for bug bites. Just about any kind of skin rash, you can rub that little plant on it and it makes you feel better. What I'll be surveying is Carolina Spring Beauty. Now this plant has an edible crumb at the bottom of it, and on a hillside like this is when it's good to, when you know it, my watch went off, there we go. On a hillside like this, it's good to, might be a little easier to dig, but I tell you guys, that edible crumb is down deep in that loose soil. It might be different in your area, but here it takes a little bit of effort to get down to the edible part. And that's a short list. There'll be other plants as we go along. Other parts of the year. This is just to get me started. And you guys have a blessed day.